everyone, and welcome back to another day of Vlogmas. I'm doing these story time-ish videos a lot, truly in an effort to just get back into the swing of YouTube. I hope that closer to Christmas I actually do a couple of vlogs. For now, I figured I still have some topics that I think I should just catch everyone up on, and today's is a pet update. As you can see, I've got my cat Pipsqueak hanging out with me. Pippy! Pippy! Oh, what a sweet boy. He's such a sweet boy. I figured I would just give an update of all of my pets because I get questions about that all the time. For a while there, I was vlogging about my pets all the time, and so I think that it's long overdue that I just update you guys on how they are doing. I guess I will start with the obvious, which is that my dog Paige is not here with me. I've seen a couple comments about this, and I think it's because there are some people who are watching who haven't watched my videos in a couple of years. So if that's you, you might not know that my dog Paige sadly passed away at the very beginning of 2019 after pretty much a year-long battle with Cushing's disease. It was terrible. She was 12 years old, which is getting up there for a dog, but I definitely feel like I was robbed of a couple more years with her, and I miss her very much. So that's that. I have videos about that on this channel if you'd like to know more information. But moving on, I guess, Molly. Molly is 10. I believe she's 10 years old now, and she is doing pretty good. She loves to go on walks, and what I've learned about her is that she loves walks, but she wants a very flat walk. So I live in the mountains, which poses a bit of a challenge. In the summer, there were a couple of times where she was like, sure, I'll hike. And we would go on a hike, and then for the next couple of days, she would just lay in bed and be like, why did you make me do that? So I've definitely learned that even as much as she hates the car, it's definitely better for me to put her in the car, drive somewhere where there's a nice flat walking trail, and then she is a happy dog. She absolutely loves it when I take her down to my mom's house in the desert. She loves hiking down there, so I think that that's something that I think we will plan to do a couple times this winter, especially as it starts snowing a ton where I live. We will drive down and spend some time with my mom and her dog Chica, who I will update in this video. That's pretty much Molly. She loves eating dog ice cream. I spoil her rotten. I feel as though I just probably only have you know, a few more precious years with her, and I really try now not to leave her very much. Luckily, the pandemic has actually, I guess in a way, been good for that, because I have not been traveling as much, and I've moved all of my work from home operations here instead of the office that I used to use. So she has been just a happy dog, and that's kind of it for Molly. She's great, and I really have cherished my time with her even more so. I think when Paige was still here, Paige was just, you know, my first dog, and I love her so much, and I was always giving Paige a lot of attention, and so now I've just been spoiling Molly rotten with like scratches and just as much love as I can give her. As for Milquetoast, it's hard to believe, but I got Milquetoast, I think it was 5 years ago. I think I got him in November of 2015. So that's 5 years ago, and he was probably about 7 or 8 or 9 months old. So he's maybe almost 6, which is crazy. He has just become the most snuggliest of boys who ever snuggled. I had no idea that cats could be this affectionate. He crawls right here in bed with me every night, and he just wants to sleep in my arms. And then during the day, if I'm doing a live stream on Twitch or if I'm editing a video at my desk, he will come and lay on this side of me. And he's just a sweet, sweet cat. He hasn't really had any medical issues. He seems really just to be a very healthy guy. He has a huge appetite, even though he's very lean. And he just is the sweetest. I don't know what else to say about him. He honestly has always been a sweet cat, but I think since the quarantine, he has just become the biggest mama's boy in the entire world and is just a really affectionate guy. Okay, Mr. Pip. He's the one that I probably have the most to say about because in true Pippy fashion, he has had some drama. At the very beginning of the quarantine, an issue that I had with Pip for a couple of years now has been urinary crystals, which I had no idea about this. Obviously, Pip had his own health journey when he was a kitten and he got misdiagnosed with FIP. That was a entire roller coaster that you can see documented on this channel. He's been fine, except he has developed urinary crystals, which is a life-threatening thing. There have been several scary times where I've had to rush him to the vet because he has had a blockage. And apparently it's just a common thing that can happen to certain male cats. There was a really scary moment back in March and April where Pip had a blockage and they recommended that he do surgery. So they said, wait a week. He had to stay at the hospital for several nights. It costs several $1,000s. He had to basically be put on a catheter and have all of the crystals flushed out of him, and then they had to monitor him for several days to make sure that he didn't block again, and then I got to take him home. So basically they said to me, you can take him home for like a couple of days, get him kind of strong enough, and then we'll do surgery so that this won't happen again. So that happened. I left him in the hospital for like 3 nights. They had to shave his arm. He looked so funny. And then basically I brought him home for a couple of days and just gave him lots of love, kept everything very calm because stress is something that can cause it. Then I called and I said, okay, let's do the surgery. And they said no, because of coronavirus, we are giving our ventilators to human hospitals and we're not doing any surgeries on cats unless their life is in immediate danger, and Pip is doing fine. And I had to remind them, well, no, Pip is doing fine because his life was in immediate danger, which is why you told me he needed the surgery. And so then we rehabilitated him so that he could have the surgery because his life was in danger. Basically, if your cat can't pee, his bladder can rupture, and that's sort of game over for a cat. So I had a really scary situation where I just happened to hear him in the middle of the night throwing up and rushed him to the vet. And if I had waited, they told me if I had waited a couple of more hours or until morning, it could have been disastrous. So there are ways to treat it without surgery. He is on a special food now that he loves. It took a long time to find this particular wet food, but giving him a wet food also is really beneficial because Milquetoast drinks a ton of water all the time, but Pipsqueak doesn't drink as much, and so he wasn't as hydrated, and then I was feeding him dry food. Are you just giving your back to the camera this whole time, Pippy? That's your attitude? Okay, fair. He hasn't had any issues since April. I've tested it a couple times where I've gone out of town for like a day or two. When my new roof got put on a couple of weeks ago, it was really stressful because there were people walking on my roof and making loud noises, and he has done wonderfully. So the hope is that now that I am giving him this food, Milquetoast loves the food too, so that's convenient. He doesn't need it though. But the hope is now that he is getting the food, that he won't need surgery, although it's still just kind of a terrifying thing that happened to you, Pippy, when they finally would do the surgery because of the ventilators. I had found a specialist for him who basically said, if it's not happening again, I wouldn't do the surgery. I would just keep doing the food. Even though this has happened to him like 2 or 3 times, it's still a risky surgery. And so I'm just gonna hold off for now, and he's been doing great. So hopefully that's just the food he has to eat for the rest of his life, and I hope he never gets sick of it. There's 2 varieties, there's chicken and tuna, so I think he likes it. Oh, one update that I'll share is that when all of this was happening and I was trying to figure out ways to keep him calm, the veterinarian recommended just giving him catnip toys, giving him an extra litter box so that him and Milquetoast are never like squabbling. And then they also recommended this thing called Fell-Away, which is like a pheromone, I think, that mimics what a mom cat gives off after she's had a litter of kittens so that they all love each other. And I swear it works. I buy it off of Amazon, I plug it in the wall, and I swear it made a difference. Either that or Pipsqueak was just going through his terrible twos and he was just terrorizing Milquetoast all the time. But as soon as I started using that, they will cuddle, they will groom each other. They have not been fighting that much. They play together. I'm such a skeptic. I was kind of like, okay, sure, I'll plug this thing in the wall. And I think it kind of works. So that's been exciting, I guess, for their brother relationship. Pipsqueak has made a huge improvement in how friendly he is. He always used to be kind of like the cat that you would pet and he'd be like, oh, okay, I'll let you pet. I don't want to be pet. And now he will come up to me in the middle of the night. He'll want to lay like on my legs. He won't really want to cuddle me yet, but I imagine that it's going that way because now, Pippi, what are you doing? Hey, do you want to look at the camera? Everyone loves you. Hey. Hi. He's a lover of love now. This is his favorite spot. He can watch the projector. He can kind of see everything that's going on up here in the loft. And he's just giant and fluffy. Anyway, yeah, he has become a real cuddle bug and he loves getting his stomach rubbed, almost like a dog, which is kind of funny. Really quickly, I will give updates about my parents' dogs. My mom, I mentioned, has her dog Chica. Chica is a rescue from Puerto Rico and she's been doing amazing down in the desert. She's coming up here for Christmas, so you guys will get to see her in Vlogmas. She's sort of mellowed a bit. She was really hyper for the first like year and a half, and she's mellowed a bit. She's gone through her chewing phase. I'm still kind of concerned about bringing her up here since the cats kind of feel like this is their turf. For some reason, they're not threatened at all by Molly, because Molly's just kind of so like, oh, my name's Molly. Hello. I think they're a little bit more intimidated by Chica, so hopefully I'll be able to kind of get them to relax around each other. I might just prevent Chica from coming upstairs ever so that this is like a safe space for them and they know that they can just come up here to get away from her. Pippi? What is this guy doing? Hey. Hi. You love your life, huh? You love your life? You love your life? But other than that, she just absolutely loves being in the desert. It's just like the perfect biome, I think, for her. She has a whole little yard. My mom does have to be very careful because there are bobcats in our neighborhood. That's a weird thing to say, but it's true. So that's a scary thing. My mom has to always be out with her when she's in the garden, and then when she lets her out at night, she lets her out on a leash and like stays with her. So other than that, Chica's doing great. And then my dad's dog Polly is doing pretty good. She's 11 now and she is so healthy. My dad and I had a really fun fall where we went and played tennis a lot because we would bring Molly and Polly and they would play together and it was so cute. And tennis was just something really nice that we could do together that was still socially distanced. Fauci said tennis was okay. So as soon as that happened, I was like, Dad, we're picking up tennis again, because we used to play tennis a lot together years ago. So that was really fun. Polly's super healthy for her age. Polly and my dad are best friends. We recently found this picture of the day that my dad adopted her from the pound, which was so cute. So yeah, they're doing great. The only problem is that for now, because Pip gets stressed and can develop this life-threatening condition, I haven't had Polly over to my house since this all happened because Polly and Pip do not get along. Polly met Milquetoast and they were actually pretty okay, but Polly never really met Pip until Pip was like a huge cat. and Polly just is like, "You're going down, Pip." And then Pip is like, "No, you're going down." And then they do like a pee off where Polly's like, "I'm gonna mark my territory right here." And then Pip's like, "I'm gonna mark my territory over here." And then I'm just standing there with like paper towels in my hands like, "Everyone stop peeing." So it should go without saying, it's not very fun for me when Polly visits. But I wanna try to figure out a way that Polly can visit more. Maybe I'll like fence in part of my yard so that Polly can come over and her and Molly can hang out more. I really wanna figure out how to do it. It's just been kind of complicated right now. I guess that's it for the pet update. I know a lot of you guys will ask if I plan on getting any more pets, and I'm sorry to disappoint you. This is not a pet YouTube channel. I'm sure it seemed like that for a little bit, but yeah, no, the plan is no. I do not plan on getting any other cats simply because I have 2 male cats and they are getting along very well and they're very bonded to each other, and I consider that to be a miracle because they're not even brothers. So I think I got really, really lucky, and I would never want to introduce another cat to that dynamic. And then I really just want to continue to focus on loving Molly for as long as I have her. And then obviously if anything, heaven forbid, were to happen to either of my parents, I would be responsible for Polly and Chica. So it's not responsible of me at this point to ever consider getting more pets. In the far, far off future, sure, I would love to get another dog. I think I would want just like a giant dog so that I didn't have to worry about bobcats. There was a mountain lion up here near my cabin that killed some goats of my neighbors, like 9 goats. So yeah, I think I would, if I were to ever get another dog way, way in the future, I think it would be like a giant dog. I would want one that's just like laying there and the cats can like zoom around and the dog's just like, "What? Was there a cat?" That would be my ideal situation, but no plans right now on getting any other pets. I would never get anything like a rabbit or a fish or a bird or anything that this guy would kill because he has a very big prey instinct. In fact, there may be some rabbit fur involved in his Christmas present this year. Don't listen, Pippi. And I should definitely never get like a gerbil or a hamster because the cabin does have mice and the mice do not do well here at the cabin with my 2 cats. There have been deaths, so many deaths. I think that's it. I'll try to respond to some comments if you have any questions about my pets. You know, the holidays are coming up. A lot of people get pets. I'll say it again, but I say it in every single video. Please consider rescuing. America's done a terrible job in its pet population. There are so many lovely cats and dogs who need homes. You really, really shouldn't be getting dogs from a breeder at this point. There are so many amazing organizations where you can find dogs that are needing homes that are lovely. Every single one of my pets has not been from a breeder. Pip here was in a cat hoarding situation. Milquetoast was in a parking lot scrounging for food. Polly was at a shelter. She was going to be euthanized. Chica, of course, was a rescue from Puerto Rico. She was a street dog. Molly was heartworm positive. That's a whole other story. Molly almost died when I first got her, living in a really horrible situation, and so she was being fostered when I adopted her. And then Paige was at a animal rescue way out in the country off of a dirt road. So basically rescuing is really rewarding if you can do it, and that's just my little plug. All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.